It really should be in larger font. I think I will make it larger. 67% of families statistically proven are suffering with addiction. That's more than half of our nation. That's a large, my goodness. That's a ridiculous amount of families, right? Can you imagine we painted all those houses red in Florida government over our nation? I bet there'd be a much different response. What if we lit them on fire? Oh, wait a minute. Actually, emotionally and spiritually and relationally, those houses are on fire. Absolutely. They're burning to the ground. Addiction burns relationships to the ground. That's the way it works. Divide and conquer. That's a familiar adversarial modality, isn't it? Addiction is probably, for our generation, our black plague. There's really no way around it.
50% of high school seniors do not think it's harmful to try cocaine or crack cocaine once or twice. 40% of high school seniors believe it's not harmful to try heroin.
So again, 20 years of addiction, entered the program of Teen Challenge, long-term residential faith-based. That's the model that Teen Challenge uses. Anyone who's using that model goes into the statistical data that evidences, governmentally proven, it is the greatest model for success to come out of life-controlling situations as addiction. Governmentally proven. I have footnotes, I can share all of them. My whole doctoral dissertation is on those studies, so I have like computers filled with this data, and they all say the same thing. Faith-based treatment creates the greatest level of success, empirically proven through governmental, Department of Health, peer-reviewed studies. There's no way to argue it. Condition that afflicts me. You do not have in your resources as a family the ability to change me. Families, here's your 3 C's that should be your empowerment to release you from shame and unnecessary guilt. You do not have the power, in other words, you cannot cause a person's addiction. You don't have the power to neurobiologically change a human being's brain or make their decisions for them. You cannot cause your loved one's addiction. You cannot control your loved one's addiction. Trying to get the bacitration and Band-Aids out of the cabinet when I have a laceration or an amputated arm and you're trying to treat it with bacitration. You don't have the remedy. You don't have the power to control my issue. And the last one is you don't have the power to cure it. You cannot, I'm going to say this again, this is your empowerment, which is another word for freedom. You cannot cause my addiction, you cannot control my addiction, and you cannot cure my addiction. Who has to own those 3 C's? Me, the guy going into the treatment program, the addicted person. Those are my 3 C's now. When this becomes negatively affected, everything that comes out of here and off the ends of these will also be negative. It's the reverse Midas touch. When this is healthy, this will be healthy, and these will be healthy.
Substance abuse, it involves repeated and excessive use of prescription drugs. We know that alcohol, street drugs, club drugs, stimulants, these are a few addictive substances we are a society are dealing with today. It's become such an epidemic. I mean, they say over 170 people die daily just from drug overdoses. And they say that, in fact, Pennsylvania, we did a conference, Pennsylvania is the leading state in the United States that deals with drug overdoses. So, over some of the behaviors, there's 23 warning signs of drug use in people around us. What people begin to do is they begin to alienate themselves from others. We begin to isolate. We begin to, just some of us are introverts and things like that, but then there's severe changes in their behavior. As far as the actions, there's increased defensiveness. Drug or alcohol addicts will give up a previously enjoyable activities that they would otherwise participate in. Their lives will become consumed with getting drugs and using drugs. Their physical appearance will change, often drastically, depending on their drugs of choice. And this is because of how heavy drugs are and how they affect our immune system, they affect our bodies, and over time it takes place. They will start missing work and school, and their life and work will suffer. Other signs, symptoms, and signals that someone around you may have an alcohol or drug addiction may include using alcohol or drugs to relax or to forget about their problems. And they may display a loss of interest in activities that were once important to them. A lot of times
share this message of ultimately of hope, but I love to be able to come and share the ability to give back what God gave me as a person that's come out of addiction, freed from the compulsion to use through my faith, which is in Christ, and then going out and giving back. What people often ask me, they say, Joel, what keeps you for all these years passionate and moving forward and busy living in this process after coming out of a lifestyle. We were just talking earlier about busy dying for a long time. Grace, gratitude, and giving back. The 3 G's. Grace, gratitude, and giving back has carried me through sorrow, sickness, and sin. It's that simple. Grace, gratitude, and giving back carries us through, all of us, not just me, sin, sorrow, and sickness. And if you're certainly a person of overt faith belief, sometimes it can get you around and through the corners of Satan himself. You got another S to that if you want. And so